Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel, and today I have a bit of a different style of video for you all. While Black Ops Cold War, and specifically skill-based matchmaking, are the hot button topics right now, there is another aspect of the Call of Duty franchise that I want to talk about, and that aspect is what in the world is going on with Modern Warfare 2 Multiplayer Remastered. This is a game that has gathered so much attention and garnered so much discussion over the past few years, but with Modern Warfare 2019, Activision basically put the rumors to rest, at least for the time being. When they released the campaign-only remaster for Modern Warfare 2, they put out a blog post back in March where they confirmed that they basically have no interest in remastering the game's multiplayer. Activision said, and I quote, "Rather than release a separate multiplayer experience as a standalone pack, Activision and Infinity Ward are looking to bring more classic map experiences to new life within the Modern Warfare universe as it continues to grow and build over time." Now, this of course is in reference to the classic maps that they brought back in Modern Warfare 2019, like Scrapyard for example. The idea basically was for Modern Warfare 2019 to just keep on going. It was already so successful that they wanted to just push that game as compared to remastering Modern Warfare 2, and they were basically content just to remaster a couple of old school maps and then call it good, because again, Modern Warfare 2019 was wildly successful. Now, make no mistake, despite all of this, I still firmly believe that Modern Warfare 2 Multiplayer Remastered is going to happen. I think that the hype that surrounds that game is an ace card that Activision plans to keep up their sleeve, ready to use whenever they need it most. If we look back at the only other remaster in Call of Duty history, which of course was a remaster of Call of Duty 4, they released it alongside Infinite Warfare as sort of an insurance policy for that game. Infinite Warfare, while a lot of people enjoyed it, I didn't personally play it, but it was a game that was the third straight advanced movement title. It was a game that had very little hype behind it. People were not digging the advanced movement and going to Mars and robot dogs and things like that. A lot of people want Call of Duty to go back to its roots. So, as a way to bolster sales of Infinite Warfare and for them to meet their yearly quotas when it comes to money earned, they decided to remaster Call of Duty 4 and then bundle the game with Infinite Warfare, and as a result, the sales of that game were pretty much as good as ever, right? It was a fine year for the Call of Duty franchise. People that wanted to play new stuff, they went and played Infinite Warfare. If they liked advanced movement and stuff like that, they played Infinite Warfare. But if they wanted to go back to Call of Duty's roots and experience old school Call of Duty gameplay, they played Modern Warfare Remastered. Honestly, it was a really fun year. I was someone who played Modern Warfare Remastered, and I really enjoyed it. Well, right now, the Call of Duty franchise, and this sounds so weird, but unfortunately, the Call of Duty franchise is booming right now. Right, and what I mean by that is Modern Warfare 2019 was wildly successful. In fact, it's the best-selling Call of Duty title of all time, and alongside Warzone, Call of Duty Mobile, and the launch of Black Ops Cold War, Activision has made $3 billion over the course of the past year. That's billion with a B. And the reason why I say it's unfortunate that the franchise is booming right now is, like I mentioned earlier, I'm not sure if they're ever going to release Modern Warfare 2 Remastered, unless they really need to. Again, like Modern Warfare Remastered back in 2016. In this current climate, it seems like whatever they push out for the Call of Duty franchise is a hit, and it makes them tons and tons of money, despite the inherent flaws that are discussed so often here on YouTube and on social media channels. With that being said, however, I would like to throw this out there into the internet, because I feel as though there is a chance for Modern Warfare 2 Multiplayer Remastered to actually release next year, because it really does make a lot of sense, and it appears that Treyarch and Activision are hinting at just that here with Black Ops Cold War. Now, I'm going to do my best to not spoil anything major here. In fact, I haven't even played the campaigns for Modern Warfare 2019 or Black Ops Cold War yet, but in one of these missions in Black Ops Cold War, one of the side characters in the campaign is Imran Zakhaev. Right, and this of course was the main antagonist of Call of Duty 4. He later returned for Modern Warfare 2019, which of course is a reboot of the Modern Warfare storyline. And basically, having him, a Modern Warfare character, in Black Ops Cold War means that the two universes are connected. The Black Ops Cold War universe and the Modern Warfare 2019 universe are connected. What they basically are these alternate reality versions of those old universes, and now they're coming together for a new series, essentially, and I think that's really interesting. Now look, I'm no ink slasher, right? I am not a huge Call of Duty lore guy. I actually barely play the campaigns anymore. The last campaign I played was Call of Duty World War II, and before that, the last campaign I played was Advanced Warfare? Maybe? I'm not really into the campaigns of the Call of Duty franchise. I'm not a huge fan. I'm more of a multiplayer guy, but I promise you this all sort of ties together into multiplayer because the setting of the game itself is what sets up the multiplayer, right? So basically what we know right now is Black Ops Cold War appears to be a direct sequel to Black Ops 1. It basically ignores the events of Black Ops 2 and onwards. It's essentially a different take on the Black Ops universe and a different take on the story. In this universe of Black Ops Cold War, Black Ops 1 is canon, and all the events are canon, and therefore, if Black Ops 1 is canon, then World at War is also canon, right? Because the events of World at War lead into Black Ops 1. So basically, the games that are part of this new universe that they're pushing out, and the timeline that we are following, features Call of Duty World at War, Black Ops 1, Black Ops Cold War, and then Modern Warfare 2019. This is like the new universe that we're playing in over the course of the past couple of years, and it's also the same universe that Warzone is set in, right? All of the other games in the franchise, as of right now, to this story anyway, are completely irrelevant. They are not part of this new story's canon, right? It's sort of like when they rebooted the Halloween franchise a few years ago. Just to give you guys a comparison, because I feel as though this is already very confusing. Way back in the day, they released the original Halloween movie in 1978, and the Halloween franchise went on to have 7 sequels, as well as a bunch of side movies, right? Well, in 2018, Miramax and Blumhouse decided to reboot the Halloween franchise with a brand new movie, and what they did is they wanted to take a different spin on the Halloween franchise, right? So the new Halloween movie served as a direct sequel to the original 1978 film. That new movie came out and it ignored everything that happened in the rest of the Halloween movies. In that universe, the only movies that were canon were the original one from 1978 and the new one that came out in 2018. All the other movies did not happen according to that universe, and basically that's the same thing that we're seeing here with the most recent Call of Duty titles. Again, I'm not a huge lore guy, and I don't really care for the story of these campaigns whatsoever, but the settings that we're talking about here are very important, because again, within this new universe, the only games that are canon are World at War, Black Ops 1, Black Ops Cold War, and Modern Warfare 2019, if we're going from a timeline perspective. So if Modern Warfare 2019 is in the same universe as Black Ops Cold War, and Modern Warfare 2019 was essentially a reboot of Call of Duty 4 with some Modern Warfare 2 elements, it would make a lot of sense for the next game, the sequel to Modern Warfare 2019, to basically be a reboot of Modern Warfare 2, right? Take this new universe's story and expand upon it, and that would be the perfect time to release Modern Warfare 2 Multiplayer Remastered. It would just make so much sense to continue on with this blending of the Modern Warfare universe and the Black Ops universe, because it makes all the games feel connected, and it also makes a lot of sense because of Warzone integration. And speaking of blending things together, let's go ahead and talk about the Prestige Shop. I haven't mentioned this in my videos, but most of you are aware of this. Here in Black Ops Cold War, the Prestige Shop is now live. We can spend our Prestige keys on Legacy calling cards as well as Prestige icons, and interestingly enough, the only non-Black Ops items available here are Modern Warfare 2 items, with the occasional Prestige calling card from Modern Warfare Remastered. They are tying a lot of Modern Warfare 2 stuff into the Prestige Shop, which leads me to believe that it is possible that that game, the Modern Warfare 2 Multiplayer Remastered game, could potentially come out next year. I know we're getting into tinfoil hat territory here, but picture a world where next year they release a new Modern Warfare title, but it's basically Modern Warfare 2 Multiplayer Remastered with a new campaign, zombies integration, as well as probably a few new weapons, some additional maps, and things like that. That would basically be the game that fans want. It would tie into Modern Warfare 2019, it would tie into Black Ops Cold War, it would very easily tie into Warzone, it would all just fit so perfectly together. The only hiccup with this theory, however, is what I discussed earlier. Call of Duty is essentially blowing up right now, and it's making tons of cash, and it seems like they would want to save Modern Warfare 2 Multiplayer Remastered for a rainy day, but I suppose anything is possible with this franchise. All I really know is fans want that game to come out. It would fit pretty well with what they're currently doing by blending the Modern Warfare universe with the Black Ops universe, but at the end of the day, we really have no idea. Now, of course, you may be thinking, well, what about the Modern Warfare 2 Multiplayer Remastered mod that you talked about, that mod that's being developed by fans for fans? Well, that project seems to have stopped. I mean, a lot is going on right now. It's really hard to tell exactly what's happening, but some people are saying the project is still ongoing. There are some higher up people that are working on the mod that are saying that they're going on a very long hiatus, which means it's basically dead. And then other people are saying that the hiatus talks are just damage control, and the reality of the situation is the project is dead. As of right now, I don't know who to believe. All I know is it appears that the mod for Modern Warfare 2 Multiplayer Remastered is probably never going to come out, and if it does, it's probably going to be years from now. So our only hope is for an official remaster of Modern Warfare 2. Now, when it comes to that, could it release next year as part of this new Call of Duty timeline? Possibly, right? It's definitely possible. Could it release next year as a faithful remaster while they continue to update Black Ops Cold War and Warzone for an additional year? That's also possible, right? It's also possible at the same time that Modern Warfare 2 Multiplayer Remastered will never see the light of day because Activision are a bunch of idiots and they won't let us throw our money at them. All of this is possible, and I wanted to discuss that topic here today. Like I mentioned, it's a very different style of video, but like most of you, I want Modern Warfare 2 Multiplayer Remastered to be a thing. I'm enjoying Black Ops Cold War for the time being, don't get me wrong, but seeing how they're really tying in a bunch of Modern Warfare 2 things into Black Ops Cold War, and the fact that Modern Warfare 2019 was so popular and so successful, and it was also a reboot of Call of Duty 4 essentially, so a sequel to that would essentially be a reboot of Modern Warfare 2, which would be the perfect time to remaster the old school multiplayer. It just kind of like all ties so well together. I know I'm like all over the place here today, but I want this game to come out. I think it would be really interesting. And again, going back to the Prestige shop in Black Ops Cold War, that's live, and we're seeing references to Call of Duty 4 and Modern Warfare 2, but we're not seeing references to games like Modern Warfare 3, Call of Duty Ghosts, Infinite Warfare, Call of Duty World War II, or even Advanced Warfare. They're essentially only referencing games that could potentially tie into this new collaboration project between Infinity Ward and Treyarch, and I think that's really interesting. I do. Again, we don't really have any concrete information here. We did have that statement that came out a few years ago where Activision said that all of the Call of Duty studios are now going to be working much more closely together than ever before, and I think we're finally seeing that. I think we're seeing that in the sense that these games are not separate universes. They're not separate timelines. They're all tying together because of Warzone, and their campaigns are now tying together, and now we're seeing things in the multiplayer tie together. So is Modern Warfare 2 Multiplayer Remastered coming? Possibly. We have no idea as of right now, but I do think that the fact that they're combining Modern Warfare 2 stuff into Black Ops Cold War could mean very big things for the Call of Duty franchise going forward, and as always, I will keep you guys posted and be there with you every step of the way as this story develops. But for right now, I'm going to wrap up this video and pose a question to you guys. What do you think about all this? Do you think it's possible that Modern Warfare 2 Multiplayer Remastered could come next year? Do you think it's ever going to come whatsoever? Leave your thoughts and feedback down in the comments. I hope you guys all enjoyed today's discussion video. If you did, consider leaving a like. Thank you all so much for listening, and I hope you guys all have a wonderful day.